Let me get a standing desk so I can walk while I'm on this call here with you guys in the morning. That'd be awesome. Okay, looks like we got some fake people on the call, so we're gonna put you in a waiting room. We're gonna put you on your door. Boom. All right, now just us real people. Let's hear from you. What are your wins, your celebrations? We were at Jason's win already. Out there walking 1.1 miles this morning. That's fantastic, dude. Is the goal a mile a day?
I was just looking at my past records. The best I've done was 2.46, so I'd like to get back up to that.
2.46. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I got my daughter to help me passing out flyers for the open house. It's going to be a grand opening with this nice house, the house that you all encouraged me to get, and we're going to hold a grand opening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we're excited. The house is also staged, so it's really nice.
We love that we got
But
you.
I, I got my daughter helping
I
me
love I love
pass
it
out
how
the
there's a lull in communication, and then three of you try to talk at once. I love it. If you don't have your view on gallery, have it on gallery. You can see other people come off mute, or at least multiple speaker. So it'll help you. It'll help you. Jessica, what do you got?
I was just gonna say congrats. That's exciting.
It's pretty dope. I mean, Audra's been out there. She's humping. I love it. Out there hustling. She's flexing that hustle muscle. All right. Other win celebration, something you're proud of.
Really good today. When I went to family reunion, I went to one of these breakouts to help you do things that you don't want to do, but prospect you don't want to do it. And one of the pieces of advice was to pick a theme song for yourself. And I chose Led Zeppelin, Immigrant Song. I just heard it on the radio, and I've been doing it, and then I heard it right now, and I just feel pumped because I guess the brain association with it.
Yeah.
I've been doing it. So
Trigger
I feel
association.
really
That's
pumped right now.
fantastic.
Yeah, feel pumped right now. Plus the coffee, but that's so.
Caffeine and 80s rock music.
Yeah.
Is Led Zeppelin 80s? I don't know. Is that 70s?
70s.
70s? Thank you.
Seventies.
I don't know. I was born in the 80s, so I don't even know. I don't even know. All right. What is the most important thing we can talk about today? What situation, conversation, objection do you guys want to work on? Stop dying, John. Get it out. Get the coffee out. She's coughing her lungs up. Be safe. Be healthy. Okay, nobody? We're just sitting here, just gonna hang out with each other. I love it, you know. I want to talk about seller objections today because I think that's a big conversation to have. Who's
Yeah.
got an email lately from some real estate education company, a course, a class, a sponsorship that's talking about pricing, right? Pricing houses right. The importance of pricing correctly. There is no shortage of opportunities out there that are people talking about pricing correctly. Why do you think that is?
So it doesn't get stale. So more eyes on the property.
Yeah, more eyes on the property. There's buyers out there. They're just not, we're not in frenzy mode. I think we're still operating on COVID era expectations where houses are going to sell the same day they go on the market. Not true. Things take some time. But knowing that there's 1,000 different reasons for pricing and how why we price things, it's important. I got this little graphic sent to me yesterday. I liked it a lot, so I want to share it with you guys this morning. is this is the pricing strategy matrix that should be in everybody's conversation packs. Let me see if I can't pull it up. So where's my screenshot? So done.
Where's our conversation packs?
Where?
Mm-hmm.
That would be your presentations.
Oh,
Yeah, like your conversation packs. Like, don't you take a pack of information when you go have a listing conversation?
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a listing presentation. I call them conversation packs because you need them to have conversations. This is a simple thing, right? Fractions of showings. If we're 15% above list price, above market, right? People want to list high. Well, we can always come down. This is based on trend data that the NAR has put together that shows that houses were listed at market value saw an average of 10% below showings than houses that were priced 15% below. So our jobs are to get more eyeballs on the property, more feet in the door, and more offers in hand. So if we list it too high, right, the up top here, we're going to get a fraction of the showings. If we're 10% above market, we're going to get half the showings. On market, we're going to get whatever. It's going to be your normal 60% of buyers are looking at it. But when you're below value, like in the eyes of the consumer, you're going to get 25% more showings. If you're 15% below market, you're going to get 50% more showings. Why is that an important conversation?
It is one of the key things of when you're time on market and price. So if people are rejecting your price, then that's going to make your time on market a lot more, and you're not getting any eyes on your.
Good agents are going to identify that the house is below market. Good agents are going to say, guys, this house is listed below market. If you want it, you're going to put an offer in. You're going to want to get some excitement around it. Because time on market is a factor of value. The number of eyeballs on it are a factor of value. If you show up to a listing and there are 5 agents waiting to show this house, what do you think your buyers are thinking? What can we assume the buyers are thinking?
FOMO,
Yes.
like there's a lot more value in it. These other 4 people want it too. So I
There's
need
scarcity, right? There's scarcity there. This is the only house. There's value because now it's a commodity a bunch of people want. And it creates urgency. You better make a decision now.
Also social too, because everybody, like you said, wants what everybody else has or
Yeah.
is interested in.
Everybody wants what they can't have. It just creates the value. The picture's in the chat, Jessica, for you now. When we look at these things, we look at the opportunity to have a conversation. Well, I don't want to list my house below market value. Okay, tell me why. Well, we can always come down. Well, here's the thing. When people look online, what do you think they're sorting through? Are they just looking at all the pictures, or do you think they start with a price point?
price point first.
Yeah, there's. I want to live in this area, but here's the very first search for criteria is usually price. If you go to the Willows of the world, like let's go to Willow and let's look at like search. We're going to search for sale. We're going to buy a house. We're going to search, and we got an area. The very first thing on Willow is what? Right? The very first box. What's it say?
Price.
Price. So clearly that matters. Well, damn, that's just online. How many people start their real estate journeys on internet searches?
Very high percentage.
98%. 98% of people start looking online. The 2% are the people that probably already knew they were buying the house, or there's a friend or a family member or someone was selling a house to them. I bet it's even higher than that. So the conversations we need to have with our sellers go around the lines of, we want to make sure we get as many eyeballs on the property as possible. And how are we going to do that? We're going to strategically price it to maximize the yield. Yes, I listed the house for $1 million. It's worth probably 1.1, 1.2. We got 2 offers, one at 1.275 and one at 3.5. $350,000 over list price. Not over market value, over list price. Because we got enough eyeballs on it that made someone go, damn, we need to scoop this thing up before it goes away. Just because you marketed it lower does not mean that's what they're going to get. You're going to get the attention of the right buyers. And if the house is something special, you're going to showcase it. You're going to sell it. You're going to create the factor of, wow. Wow, why is this house different? Wow. Am I catching on to you?
Do you have any studies showing if you priced it like range pricing, does that add more eyes, less eyes?
It allows it to be valued in the system lower, because it's the lower range is what you see listed. That's what I think, it's one of those things.
You're not a big fan of it, right?
I hate range pricing. So, what other questions? Come on, guys. What are your thoughts?
One of the best, well, busiest open houses I've ever seen was, it was a 2-hour open house, and it was like it was in a really good neighborhood, and he priced it, I think 100,000 below, and there was like over 100 people there, and it was just packed, and he got so many offers and went well over list price. I think he went over like, I think maybe 150,000 over list. So that was a really impressive open house I've ever been to. Like 2-hour open house, 1 day only. So yeah, I think it works.
You're jamming people in there to see it the best you can.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is you're trying to create that scarcity, the urgency.
It was standing room only, and it was nuts.
Yeah. So when it comes to pricing on a range, buyers anchor on the lower price. They always do. Range price from 350 to 400. The seller wants 400. What do the buyers see?
350.
350. It stirs interest, but it may backfire in a buyer's market. Here's something cool: is Redfin found on their own listings that properties that had precise price points, like 473, 250 instead of 475, had a slightly faster selling time and more views. Zillow research indicates home prices at a key search thresholds like 450 or 500 get more visibility. Range pricing can bypass this benefit, which is why I don't like it. Because if someone's looking for a house between $400,000 and $500,000, where are they starting? 400. So if you price a house at $399,900, you've missed these searches of everyone looking in that 400 to 500 bucket. But Dan, I want to sell it for 400, and $399,900 puts me in the lower bracket. But they're not looking for that. If you price a house at $399,999 and you're trying to be in the $400 price bracket, you are now showing up in the buyer's bracket that are searching from 375 to 400. Instead of being the lowest end of the 400 bracket, you're now the highest end of the 350 bracket. You see how that works out? Psychologically,
Yeah.
people, wow, why is it? This is usually when they look at prices, do they sort highest to lowest, or do they sort lowest to highest? Go back to the way you shop online. We start looking at what we're looking for, right? This is the search, the criteria, what we want. And from there, we sort by lowest to highest. So there's a lot of opportunity in creating some buyer interest and encourage bidding and create urgency in pricing it correctly.
If you see a home on the market, say a person put it low and coming soon there, and they put it low and coming soon, and then when it came live, it became higher. They priced the home higher. What effect would that have? Because you can see price change.
Yeah, what would you think? Started low and then went higher. What do you think?
The house, the house is, I guess they thought it was worth more.
Okay, someone else on the call, think like a consumer. When you see a price that was listed lower and the price was changed higher, what do you think?
Like a bait and switch.
I'd get mad. Yeah, bait and switch.
Bait and switch, right? What else?
A bait and switch, but then also at the same time, like Audra was saying,
typo.
they got a lot of interest on it and realizing that they were priced too low. But my first thought would be bait and switch.
Yeah. A lot of people hate it. Like they're like, why'd the price go up? But it's not a bad thing. Not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, not always a bad thing. What if the house has been sitting on the market for 2 weeks, not a whole lot of traffic, but it's getting a ton of online interest? And you raise the price. It might shake somebody off the fence by saying, oh, what, the house was cheaper last week. We should have bought it. It might not. If you price a house too low, what do you think?
They might think, what's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? That's a big one. Right? Anthony's new construction, what was that in here? New construction raised prices as soon as the last one sells. Yeah, they do. When they got the houses on the market, they're all at 400,000. When the last one sells, now it's 405, 415, 410. They always go up because it makes people like, oh man, I should have bought it last week. It creates FOMO. It creates that, I missed out. So it's important to understand the strategy and why, so you can communicate it. We all do our market research. We do the CMAs, comparative market analysis. That means I am comparing your house to other homes that have recently sold that are similar compared to your home. Does that mean I'm comparing a 2-story to a 1-story? Does that mean I'm comparing a house in a gated community to one that's not? Does that mean I'm comparing a house built in 1978 to one that was built in 2020? No, it means I am finding houses that are similar. Similar enough to say that they're closely related in price and size and value and amenities and location, so that I can justify value. Because why would a buyer pay $1 million for your home when they can go a mile down the street and pay $850 for effectively the same house? Well, I can justify what has sold because now I know what a buyer was willing to pay for it. Because write this down. We set the price, the market sets the value. Because we set the price doesn't mean that's what we're going to get. The market value of the home is what a buyer is willing to pay. Right? So, comparables, when you're talking to your sellers, is listen, this is what's sold in the area similar to yours. This is what the banks and appraisers and other agents are going to justify the value of your home on. It's important to do the research. Well, what if your house is unique? What if it's the only one of its kind in the area? Well, then go find arguable matches. or you're going to have a hard time justifying value. You need 3. So I got to hear that story. And Anthony put in the chat, did you get a cam from an angry agent about one of my listings? Tell me more. Angry call, I guess, is what it meant. Yeah, a call. So pricing depending on what you're trying to do. If you want to get it sold, you're probably going to price it just below what the appraised or CMA value determined, what fair market value would be. Because that's best for a balanced market. We're in a balanced market. We're kind of in Tucson, we're kind of leaning towards a buyer's market. Because we want to attract qualified buyers and not leave money on the table. You overprice, it sits on the shelf. Why would you buy a $5 bucket of eggs when you can buy a $4 bucket of eggs? It's got the same amount of eggs in it. The only difference is the bucket. Right? The big risk there is that you might be undercut because of as new houses come on the market, there's an opportunity for them to price underneath you. So not only are we looking out for what has sold in your comparables, but we're also looking at what is for sale, also known as your competition. Notice how they're both comps, comparables and competition. Why is it important to know your competition?
So you know if you're priced right, if you should change it or not.
If there's a house on the market on the exact same street in the exact same neighborhood with a roughly exact same floor plan for sale, $20,000 more, which house are they going to come see?
Yours.
Yours, because it's cheaper. That's just how human beings are. Unless that agent has done a really good job of showcasing why this house is worth more. Premium lots in the cul-de-sac, has unobstructed mountain views. Maybe your house doesn't. Other side of that is a seller says, I want to sell my house for $1 million. Well, the house next door, literally right next door, sold for $850,000. What makes yours different? I had this conversation last night. One of my agents, who's a commercial agent who doesn't know, anything about residential stuff, says, I need you to value my home. I said, no problem. What's changed since the last time I did this for you? 6 weeks ago. Nothing. Okay. Also, the house literally right next door to you sold for $438,000. $438,000. He goes, well, my house has got a good view and it's in a cul-de-sac and it's got a premium lot. I'm like, Chuck, the house right next door is identical to yours. Why would your house be worth more? Oh, because it has the backyard and it has all everything else is great. So we can value the difference of the houses because 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, quarter acre lot, mountain views, unobstructed mountain views, updated kitchen, updated appliances, updated bathrooms, updated backyard. Okay, now we found the value.
And staged.
Okay, you can say stage 2. That's just your job. But there's an opportunity there, right? You can see if they're almost the same, you got to find the reason it's different. Either it's a plus or a minus. And you got to communicate that. I am not in the business of just placating people and telling them what they want to hear. Tell your clients up front, hey guys, I'm going to tell you what it is, not what you want to hear. And I'm sorry if other agents out there just kind of tell you what you want to hear to make you feel good. I'm in the business of telling you what's right because I can't protect you if I tell you a lie. And so I tell Chuck, I love him to death. Chuck's been in the business forever. Like the dude is a dinosaur in this business. Love him. But he doesn't know real estate like I do. He knows commercial, doesn't know residential. To him, he put $100,000 into that backyard. What do you think that's worth to a buyer?
Only if they value that.
It's neat.
Yeah.
The other backyard's done. I don't want a pool. Whatever. Or you know what? They actually both have pools. Just the only difference is one has an outdoor kitchen, has the barbecue and the built-in and stuff like that. And Chuck's like, I spent $40,000 on that. I'm like, great. You're probably gonna get $5,000 in value. Maybe.
He's emotionally attached to his projects.
That's the problem. What it costs you does not mean what you get out of it. But that's why we have to use third-party validation. Third-party validation is I am going to validate the value either for or against this price based on comparables, what has sold, because we know that people were interested and buyers had decided to put money in, including concessions, repairs, time on market, not just the price. We're looking at all the factors. Where did it start in price? Where did it end? How long was it on the market? Now I'm also looking at comparable competition. What's on the market? How long has it been on the market? Where did it start on the market? How long until they did a price reduction? You can go and look up some of the online traffic of those properties through Zillow or Realtor.com and seeing what their online traffic imprints are, but you don't know what the showings look like. You don't know what the feedback's been. So you're just making a best guess. But it's important to have that conversation is we are in competition with other places. We would need to stand out. Either we stand out with the offering or we stand out with the price. It is rarely advisable to ever go above list price or to go above market value. Rarely. That's why it's important to do your research. Justify the value. And we're looking for houses that are similar. Because people buy gated communities because of the safety. It's non-tangible, but it does increase the value. People buy a house without a swimming pool in an older community. Why? Because they don't have the ability to take care of it. It's knowing the market in that area. So spend some time doing the research. Spend some time looking at the houses for sale so that you know what it's doing, right? You understand how long it's been on the market, at what price did it go on the market, when did it come off the market, what were the repairs, what were the concessions. Heck, pick up the phone and say, hey, I see you just went under contract on this house. I got a house next door. Can you tell me about your traffic? Maybe the listing agent will tell you a thing or two. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. I've had people call me up and say, hey, how did that listing go on this street? I see you guys are just closed. I was like, oh, it was a nightmare. We didn't have any traffic for 6 months, and then all of a sudden we got 6 offers. Oh, wow. I was like, would you like the name of the agents that brought me those offers so you can call them up and see if they want to buy yours? And the other agent was like, I didn't even think about that. Does it harm me to connect agents that might have buyers for each other? No. But it does put me out as an opportunity. They work with me in the future. Like, that guy helped me out. I like that guy. You call up somebody and you say, hey, we got this house that we're going to put on sale at, Vita Vista Lane. I see you guys just closed one. By chance, did you have any other offers that were rejected? Why do I want to know that? Peep on this, right? Ring, ring, Joanne.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, Joanne, it's Big Dan over at KW. I see that you put an offer in on this house at 123 Vita Vita Lane. Your buyer got beat out on that. Are they still interested in buying on that street?
Yeah, they love the neighborhood. They want in.
I just took a listing 3 doors down from that one. Could you and your buyers meet me there on Saturday around noon? I'm going to do a private showing for just them.
Yeah, for sure. Let me get confirmation. We'll do it.
Boom. Before it's even on the market, do you not have some opportunity? How would that feel? How would that feel as an agent? You got another phone call. You're like, oh my God, this one's not even on the market yet. And they're already calling me and saying, hey, come check it out. So, sound good, huh? Pretty cool stuff, huh? Did you learn something today?
Yeah.
Don't
Mhm.
be afraid to think differently. Don't be afraid to push back. Understand what it means to price up, price down, price at. And in the chat, pull out that graphic. If you haven't done so already, download it to your computer, put it on your phone. Okay, it's in the chat. If you need a second to do so, right now. If you don't have it, you're going to miss it. You're going to wish you had it. Any other thoughts, questions, comments, concerns before I kick you out of here?